week's episode of Dragon Ball Super, Trunks has just achieved a brand new Super Saiyan form, and he decides to unleash his power against the evil Black and Zamasu. Goku and Vegeta are utterly defeated and are forced to return to the present timeline, where they come up with a brand new plan to defeat Black and Zamasu, and it's going to involve a classic technique from the series, the Mafuba. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super. While there are a lot of elements that I really liked about it, especially because the last half of the episode just really made this feel like a classic episode of Dragon Ball, the first half of the episode just really annoyed me because Goku and Vegeta are forced to return to the past again. And you know what's really stupid is the fact that Goku had some severe damage done to him. He had a freaking ki blast hole in his chest, and they don't even give the dude a sensu bean. They had a whole freaking sack of those things. They just decide to leave them with Trunks so that he can continue to get his ass handed to them, pop a bean, and continue fighting. The thing is, I'm not sure what's up with his brand new form. They don't reveal anything about it in this episode. It's basically just Trunks being really super pissed off the entire time and just going into a berserker rage as he's fighting against Black. There was one scene that I did find interesting, however, when both Black and Zamasu actually attack future Trunks, they combine another one of their big ki blasts and he blocks it. And as he's doing it, he seems to lose control of his power and his eyes go back to normal, but they glow this sort of like weird green-like color, like a certain legendary Super Saiyan. What the hell is going on with Trunks in his brand new form? The fact of the matter is, they don't want to reveal it quite yet. But the second half of the episode is where things get really interesting. Originally, I thought the way that Goku and Vegeta were going to defeat Black is that they were going to do a fusion, and we get to see the return of Gogeta, now in Super Saiyan God form. Originally, I even thought that they were subtly hinting to this scene when you had Trunks and Goten who were sneaking out and confronted Bulma about going to the future and fighting Black. And clearly, they were going to use their fusion technique to make this happen, but even Bulma says that you guys stand no chance of even beating these guys. This scene is also really frustrating because Vegeta is hearing all of this, and Bulma constantly keeps saying that it's Goku who's going to be the one that's going to save the day, and that completely pisses him off. But he's going to get a little bit of training in as he goes to the hyperbolic time chamber. Piccolo is incredibly helpful in this episode, despite the fact that they basically turn him into a joke, which kind of irks me in the wrong way. I really don't like the fact that a lot of the side characters have just been relegated to being just goofy, funny people who can't do anything in the battle anymore. Piccolo is awesome and he deserves better than this. He even comes up with the plan to actually defeat Black and Zamasu. They're going to revive the Mafuba technique, the ultimate technique that was used to seal away evil King Piccolo back in the day. This technique was originally created by Master Roshi's original master. Master Roshi taught it to Tien. We've seen it a couple times in the series, but Black and Zamasu are just so freaking powerful that if they can't defeat them, they're simply just going to have to seal them away. It looks like Vegeta's going to be doing all of the regular training, and Goku is going to be learning how to use the Mafuba technique. And instead of getting Piccolo to teach him the technique, he goes to Master Roshi. And like I said, he's a complete dick to Piccolo, because Piccolo's so happy that he's going to be relevant again. He's like, alright, here's the technique, here's how it works, and then Goku just immediately instant transmissions to the Kame house. Just, what the freaking hell? You guys are just being the biggest dicks to Piccolo. That being said, seeing Goku hang out with Master Roshi on his island and doing some training was incredibly nostalgic. Especially that Goku was learning a really crazy technique that he never had access to before, or never really even had a need to learn. But it's really cool getting to see that technique again, especially because he's using Turtle to actually train how to do that. And what is interesting this time is I wonder if they're going to go with some sort of brand new containment unit, if Bulma is going to create something, or if they're going to do what they did with King Piccolo and try to trap them in an electric rice cooker. We need to remember that that was a thing in Dragon Ball. It was weird then, it's still pretty freaking weird now. Still, I hope there's going to be some surprises in store as we head back to the future and do battle with Black and Zamasu. Not to mention, there's this whole other subplot that's been brought up in this episode with Beerus and Whis actually confronting Gawas, and it looks like they're going to try and go to the future as well. So, shit about to get real. And so, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super? The action in the beginning of the episode was okay. Pretty much just your run-of-the-mill Dragon Ball action. Lots of punches, lots of kicks, lots of ki blasts. You've seen it all before. And unfortunately, they didn't do anything too crazy with Future Trunks' abilities, aside from just making him Berserker Rage strong. Like the fact that he just keeps coming no matter what. But he really did surprise Black at the beginning of the battle, and there were a few cool scenes, but still just sort of standard action from Dragon Ball. Really, a lot of my frustration from this episode came from the fact that Goku and Vegeta had to retreat for the second time, and that annoys me because now that means we're just going to go back to the future again. It just seems like we've been wasting all sorts of time. However, I still think the episode made up for itself by the end when we got to see the revival of the Mafuba technique, getting to see Goku actually trying to learn how to use that. It's just such a classic looking thing, and I'm still glad that it looks exactly the same, putting the hands up, the giant swirling green and everything, and getting Turtle involved was also really funny, especially because Goku kept botching the technique, throwing him out into the middle of the ocean as he's about to crash into some rocks, only to stop him just right before he hits them. It's a really thrilling sequence, and seeing Goku train with Roshi just gave me that good old school Dragon Ball feeling, and that's definitely why I can recommend this episode right here. That being said, despite the fact that there was a lot of hype built around it, especially with Trunks' new form, in my humble opinion, this was kind of an average episode of Dragon Ball Super. But despite the fact that it is an average episode in my opinion, I still think it's got some entertainment value, and there's a lot of things that Dragon Ball fans are certainly going to enjoy about this episode. Hell, it might even have sparked Gohan's interest in training again. Something that I think is really interesting when he realizes that this is the reason why Trunks came to the present timeline, is because all this crazy shit is going on. Maybe he's gonna realize, maybe people do need my help. Maybe I need to put the glasses away, take off the stupid sweater, and get back into my training outfit. Maybe this could happen, maybe it won't, it probably won't. But still, this was a decent episode of Dragon Ball Super, which I am going to give a 3 out of 5. Just a fun, average episode of Dragon Ball Super that didn't break the mold, but it still managed to be incredibly nostalgic. So this is still an entertaining episode for any fan of Dragon Ball. If any of you did watch this episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. Are they actually going to be able to seal away Black and Zamasu with the power of the Mafuba? Do you think there's going to be something else that's going to change up this battle with the fact that Beerus, Whis, and Gawas are getting involved? Could Zeno just show up and eradicate everything in the blink of an eye? Make sure to tell me what you want to see from the rest of this brand new arc in Dragon Ball Super. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. And as always, stay dandy, baby.